Hello and welcome to my video on modifying the steering arms of my Tamiya rising fighter, going from these spindly little, I think 2M bars that bend like nothing, going to some spare 4M threaded bar that I just happen to have lying around, and some ball joints again just had lying around with from spares of other shock absorbers and stuff. Again, due to the size of the holes in the various bits, I'm using 2M screws with some nylock nuts. So first thing we're going to do is not drop that, taking the longer the rod, which is about, in my instance, 64mm, due to the length of my ball joints, just to try and give me the most amount of adjustment necessary. So I've got to put the ends on them first, and I'll measure them up against these once I've done that. Okay, so I've just test fitted the new steering arms and done a first adjustment of the toe in. But upon testing, I've discovered that because due to the extra thickness, the servo saver is hitting just here, and on the other side just here on the turn, so it's not able to fully turn, and as I say, the servo saver here is being stretched and will probably break if I don't do something about it. So now I'm going to take it all apart and just trim those edges until they no longer hit the servo saver. Right, I've now dismantled it, ready to cut the things out, and as you can see, I've just highlighted roughly where I'm going to cut out, just so that you can see. Right, so after my initial cutting out, I discovered that that still wasn't enough. So as you can see from here, I've now cut a further slot in for the offside steering arm, but on investigation, the near side, I thought I can't cut any more out of that because that will just weaken the structure too much. But if you see from the side on view, there's already this half circle, shall we say, of cut out. So upon looking at the servo, it was clear that if I moved the ball joint on the near side from the front to the back, then the bar would line up with that semicircular cutout and thus give me more movement. So now everything's okay, free movement on all the parts, so I can now go ahead and put it all back together. Right, so I've fitted the servo back in, and as you can see, if I spin this around, you can see now that the steering arm fits nicely in that cutout. Right, so here we now have the finished product. That's a view from down, from the sides, all fixed together. From the bottom, as you can possibly see, I've used ordinary nuts at the bottom of these due to the length of the screws not being quite long enough, but I've put some high strength thread lock on to lock them in place, and there we have it. That's My modification to the Tamiya Rising Fighter steering linkage.